Alright everyone, I hope you're all ready for the newest Kingdom Hearts game coming out.
Yes!
Yeah!
You know damn well I am. As someone who can swing a sword like how Sora swing his keyblade, I am a big fan of the series.
I only play some of the games. I never did get the chance to play some of the portable games. If it wasn't for the final mix collection, I would never play Birth by Sleep.
I guess that's fair. I don't know why Square Enix would put a long line of sequels and spin-off in different consoles, even though they're an important part of the Kingdom Hearts story.
Man, I cannot wait to see my good pal Donald Duck again. We both have that same enraging energy, plus he blast fire is one like I blast fire from my rocket.
I think the best way to honor a great return to the series after 3 years, I think it perfect that we played Kingdom Hearts, the original.
Gah!
You mean the first game?
Yeah, is there a problem, Medic?
Well, to be honest, I'm never really that big fan of the first Kingdom Hearts game.
What?
How can you say such a thing? It's such a wonderful experience that is a great start to what would be a big franchise.
I agree with Soldier. The first game is such a wonderful work of gaming that helped kickstart the series.
I can agree that it's a good start, but I just don't like the overall gameplay compared to later games. It feels heavier than most games, the combat is janky, and the worlds are confusing and maze-like.
To be honest, I do see where Medic coming from. But I am mad featured arc in other games. You spend hours getting lost in places. I recall wandering around Hollow Bastion for 30 minutes.
I know, right? And don't even get me started on that awful Atlantica level. I mean, I wasted an entire hour wondering where to now. Wasn't aware that I was supposed to hold on to a fucking dolphin.
Alright, I can see why it's not your type of game, but every game have a rough start. Look at Crash Bandicoot. Sure, tough as nail and haven't aged well, but it better when you grow into the series.
I can see what you mean, but I still stand by my opinion that the first game isn't as good as many people said, even more compared to Chains of Memory. Chains of Memory? You mean the bloody card game?
Sorry to say, but I think Chains of Memory is the weakest game of the series. It's one of the most confusing games to play as it relies on cards instead of swinging your keyblade around.
That 'cause you need to be a Kingdom Hearts pro to know how to play it right. It's all about timing, learning which is the best attack to use and thinking wisely instead of wildly.
Plus it's an introduction to the Organization 13. And we all know how dangerous they are in future games.
Yeah, but keep in mind that all they did was reuse the same sets of levels from the first game, leading to a very boring level design that even with a small map, still end up maze-like.
I couldn't even get through the first level of the game. I give up when I don't have the card needed to open the door. Like, why the fuck do I need cards to open the fucking door?
'Cause it's an important part of the story.
But Medic, the plot point of cards are never even brought up or mentioned again. The only time cards were brought up was only cause of Roxas is a gambler with his card tricks.
Right, your story of cards are nothing but random filler for the Game Boy Advance limitation. At least 3 5.5 days gave a better story with a much better game.
Yes, that game tells us the story of Roxas and how much he struggled dealing with the fact that he is a replacement for Sora, dealing with the trouble from the Organization 13. With a tail-jerking ending and where he had to fight his closest friend on losing his memories of her and later lose all form of memory of even Axel after losing a fight to Riku.
I did remember watching that. Now the Final Mix collection doesn't have any gameplay 'cause it was on the Nintendo DS.
You're not missing out on much. I love the story, but the overall game is just a bunch of filler missions set in the same places as the previous game, with nothing that groundbreaking.
Yeah, it's better to watch the story than to play the actual game. Now that can be a negative in some case. Kingdom Hearts Recoded is probably the worst of the series. Yeah, don't get me started. The story feels so pointless. It's the same story as the first game in the same set of location with a digital version of Sora. Even when they have a decent gameplay, it's bad.
I can see what you mean. Maybe we can stop thinking negative for once and play some Dream Drop Distance instead. Help get our mind off.
To be honest, I thought you were gonna suggest Birth by Sleep. Now I can see Dream Drop Distance could be a nice change of pace. I think Scout will even like the parkour stuff in it.
Well, I do, but I wouldn't say I'm not in a Dream Drop Distance. The fact that you have those Pokemon like spirits by your side made the game too easy with all the right leveling tools.
I can agree. Not to mention it doesn't have a strong story that isn't really planned out. Like why you start the game fighting a ghost version of Ursula. That is something that no one ever brought up.
Well, fine then. How about Birth by Sleep then? Now you're speaking my language. A wonderful prequel to the series. Damn it, Soldier! Is something wrong? Well, in Birth by Sleep, you play as 3 characters in the game, but not a single one of them is Donald Duck.
Soldier, you shitting me right. Tell me that is not the only reason to rub off on a great game.
Well, that and the game tend to have some real off-putting difficulty curves. Even on easy difficulty, some bosses are either too easy or kick my ass to high heaven.
Now that you mention it, I did struggle on beating Tara after he got possessed by Sehanort. Not to mention that final fight with Vanitas in the Ventus story. The final move was bugged sometime.
But cause it takes real skills to beat the tougher boss, it will make it epic. Even me and Heavy are skilled to beat this story without trouble.
Actually, Sniper, I played the game on easy difficulty. It'd been a long while that I was feeling rusty and needed to relearn how to play.
You shitting me, Heavy? You didn't even got the final story after beating all 3 story. Do you know how much you missed out on important Kingdom Hearts or...
Hey, go easy and heavy. Look, we are not getting anywhere with this. I think the only game left on our table is Kingdom Hearts 3. The long-awaited third entry.
You sure? I mean, it's a great game, but from I've been told, not many people like it. Particularly the story.
What the fuck? It's a great conclusion to the Darkseeker saga that wrap up everything so well.
That doesn't excuse the fact that it has some straightforward design and some meaningless story choices.
Like the time Sora went back a few seconds to stop his friend from getting sucked into a tornado.
It led to an awesome scene where Sora fight an army of Heartless and nobodies in a roller coaster, topped off by using the keyblades of a bunch of fallen keyblade wielder.
From an online-only mobile phone game that no one play anymore cause the online service ends back in 2021 with characters that look like it was made in Adobe Flash.
What the fuck are you guys screaming about? I just got back from a nice dinner date with Scout Mother and I come home to this?
Hello, Frenchie.
Spy, we having a bit of a trouble here. We're trying to think of a good game to play to celebrate the upcoming Kingdom Hearts game, but every choice always leads to some issue we have on each other.
Right. Started with Scout wanting to play the first game, but Mick brought up on how it isn't as good as people said. Then he suggested Chain of Memory, and then...
I don't want to hear it. I am very disappointed with all of you. Have you all forgotten what the concept of Kingdom Hearts really mean?
We know what it means. It's a story about like fighting darkness.
No, that is only a big part of the story. However, you can never achieve victory in joy unless you think like a team. That's what the main concept is. Teamwork. Working as one with your close friends. Therefore, there is only one game that everyone can agree on. What many people said to be the best game in the entire series with the strongest story. That, my friend, being Kingdom Hearts 2.
Holy shit! Spy is right! We've been thinking of so many games that we are mixed on that we forgot about the game that done everything right.
Indeed! From the solid combat system to the easier to follow level design. This one is pretty solid out of the bunch. Even though there are some issues like the hour-long opening, it's still the strongest.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let press play and begin the game.